Hello and welcome to my channel. So as a Black woman, as a millennial, as a single person, I think that's all the nomenclature I'm gonna give myself for this video. I have often wondered, where is the best city that I could move to, that I could really, really thrive in? Before moving back here to Houston, Texas, where I'm from, I lived in a city called Los Angeles. I don't know why I said it like that. Like we don't all know what Los Angeles is. But anyway, I lived in LA. I was there for, actually, the day that I'm filming this, 6 years ago, I was driving to 6 years ago, I arrived to Los Angeles on this day. So, but I moved there and I really thought that like it was going to be a great city for me as a person. I don't think I was really thinking about for me as a Black woman. I think I was just like, it is my destiny. And in a lot of ways, it really was a good fit for me. But there were certain things that were just missing. And since I moved back to Houston, I've noticed that a lot of people are voicing that about a lot of cities that are in the United States of America, specifically a lot of Black women. I see videos all the time with Black women questioning, where in the United States should I go? Where should I be? And so in this video, I want to attempt to answer that question a little bit. I don't think that I'm in the state of mind or at the energy level where I want to just move out of the current place where I'm in. I literally just got here, and I made another video earlier this year about how hard it was for me kind of trying to find a place that I wanted to stay at and really like put roots down. And yes, I thought I would go far, far away to do that, but I definitely ended up doing it right back home, right where I'm from. And that feels best for me now. But at a certain time, I was planning on getting around and like living in so many cities. In this video, I want to talk about what cities would have been the best. As a Black woman, as a single woman, as a woman of a certain age, what cities would have been the best cities for me to thrive in? I want to do that for two reasons. The first, I think it's good and important to offer people who are able to relate some concrete evidence that they can actually look at. If you're wondering about a place, or if you're wondering what places offer what, hopefully this video will answer that question. And the second reason why I want to do this is because I want the comment section of this video to serve as kind of like a database for people. Please feel free to add in, share your experiences. If you are a Black woman, if you know a Black woman, and you are thriving or you're not doing so well in the city where you live, please share, what you think the challenges are, the pros, the perks. I definitely though want to hear from people who are like, come to my city, it's great. Because I think when I look at social media and when I remember my own challenge to find a place to call home, eventually I just came right back where I was. But when I think about that journey in my life, it would have been really helpful to have some people just sort of honestly speaking out and talking about their respective journeys too. So here we go. As I said before, I have just moved into a new apartment for the 412th time in about 3 years. And in this apartment, I'm really trying to experiment a lot with decor. I used to be a minimalist girl. Like I used to like the browns and the blacks and the grays. Like you can see this gray couch here that I've had for years. But now I've been really influenced by social media and all the bright colors and like people building these like really bright, almost maximalist, colorful homes. And that's kind of like the direction I see myself going. But before I get there, I've got to have the basics. Enter Brook Linnen. So what is Brook Linnen? Well, they're based in Brooklyn and they were started in 2014, and their goal was to help everyday people be able to afford essential luxury home items without the luxury markup. They expanded outside the home in 2018 to offer bath products, and in 2019 they began offering loungewear. So really, Brook Linnen is like a one-stop shop for everything you need to feel really luxurious in your home, again, without paying the luxurious price. So my experience sleeping in Brook Linnen sheets has been extremely pleasant. If I'm totally honest, most of the time my sheets are not luxury sheets. They literally come from like I don't even know how you say it, like a big box store. I've had a lot of experiences with sheets that are very scratchy, sheets that are very, very hot. I'm the type of person that will kick off my sheets in the middle of the night. After one night with these sheets, first of all, I slept extremely soundly. They're very breathable. So if you are a person that does get hot at night, these are the kind of sheets that are very, very breathable, very soft against the skin. And overall, it just made for a really comfortable night's sleep. Brook Linnen sheets have definitely earned their reputation as a great brand for luxury sheets. They have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Outside of their storefronts, you can shop for classic or luxe sheets right inside of your own home. Also, instead of just buying individual items, you can save 25% by purchasing a hardcore bundle, which includes a core sheet set, extra pillowcases, and a duvet cover. To try some Brook Linnen sheets for yourself, they are having a summer sale. It started on August 16th and it's going until August the 31st. You can get 15% off on all Brook Linnen products. Please feel free to click the link below. So, like I said, I have been online. I've been looking, I've been listening to conversations, and I have been, because I am a Black woman, the algorithm often delivers me other Black women talking about their experiences living in certain cities. There was even a trend that was on TikTok where they would play this song. God, I don't even know what the song is, but somebody would write the text on the screen and then they would zoom into the city where they live. And I saw people of all ages, races, shapes, sizes participating in this. But of course, I particularly honed in on where Black women were saying that they didn't really like living. And one state specifically kept coming up over and over again: Arizona. People are miserable in Arizona. And if you are a Black woman and you live in Arizona, please feel free to weigh in the comments. But let's leave that trend and that reality behind for a second. And let's talk about some of the best places to live. A couple years ago, Bloomberg Online wrote a report and they talked about the best places for Black women to live. And the information that they got is really, you can find it anywhere. And a lot of different websites that cover this kind of information have the same type of thing in their articles. But I'm going to focus this part of the video using the information that Bloomberg provided. Here's what they had to say about the best cities for Black women to live.
Okay, I know I just said that I was going to focus on Bloomberg, but I went in to look at the Bloomberg graphic and I felt like it was, it was kind of hard to read. And also the information was sort of all over the place. So I instead went to a website called moneygeek.com. And what MoneyGeek focused their analysis of the best cities for Black women to stay in, they focused on some specific things. The first thing was, equal pay, health, home ownership, those sort of things. And those are the same things that Bloomberg focused on as well. But MoneyGeek, I feel like, just comprised their data a little bit better. So that being said, these were the best cities for Black women according to MoneyGeek. So they actually have 25 here. These are the top 10. I'm going to go ahead and open it up and take a look at all 25. So as you can see here, the number one city is Southfield, Michigan. Apparently Southfield ranks the best for Black women, as far as their working environment is concerned, as far as their healthcare, as far as home ownership. Next up is New Rochelle, New York, Missouri City, Texas. So that's right outside of Houston, or it's basically Houston. Alexandria, Virginia, Pembroke Pines, Florida, Inglewood, California, Fairfield, California. I love that Inglewood is on here because I remember when I first started watching Insecure, and at the time I was living in North Hollywood and Burbank, California. And, I was like, what is this LA that Issa and Friends is experiencing? Like, I cannot relate to this show at all. And I really do think your experience in a city is based on how livable you find that city to be. And a lot of that comes with where you work, how much money you make, what your community looks like, how far your dollar stretches, so on and so forth. Anyway, moving on, we've got Grand Prairie, Texas, Irving, Texas. For people who live in Texas, that's near the Dallas area. We got Moreno Valley, California, Compton, California. That's an interesting placement. I'd love to hear your take on that in the comments. Virginia Beach, Virginia, Aurora, Illinois, Hampton, Virginia, Palmdale, California. I don't agree with that. I don't agree. I don't know. If you're a Palmdale resident, maybe you can tell me, but I don't agree with that. Springfield, Massachusetts, Hawthorne, California. Lots of California here. Tyler, Texas, Norwalk, Connecticut, Elk Grove, California. So I actually have a friend who grew up in Elk Grove. And when I say that her and her siblings are also well-adjusted, black people, extremely well-adjusted, I'm like, girl, what suburb did you grow up in? Because I cannot relate. Riverside, California, Chesapeake, Virginia, and Miramar, Florida. So these are the best places for Black women in the United States. Black women ages 18 to 64 were analyzed. And again, they looked at income rates. They looked at health insurance coverage. They looked at how far, your dollar stretches. They looked at how much money you can make. And these were the best cities.
Okay, now, here's what they had to say about the worst cities.
They kept their worst cities list a little bit shorter at only 15 names on this website. but I'm just going to look at the top 10, starting with Corpus Christi, the worst place for Black women to live in the United States of America, according to this site. And they gave it that title because, according to them, Black women face high poverty rates in absolute and relative terms, low income rates, and have the worst health insurance coverage for women in all of the cities. So yeah, Corpus Christi was number one for the lowest. Next up was Miami, Florida. Next up was Gulfport, Mississippi, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Pompano Beach, Florida. So Florida seems to be a place that's not so great for Black women. Again, if you disagree with these things or you have a story that corroborates these statistics, please feel free to weigh in. You've got Allentown, Pennsylvania, Boynton Beach, Florida, North Little Rock, Arkansas, Kalamazoo, Michigan, and Abilene, Texas. And what these people were looking for, again, is how much money are Black women making here? What kind of jobs are they working in these cities? And also, what kind of health coverage are they able to get? Are they able to buy homes? Are they homeowners in these areas? I also want to point out that Bloomberg had a slightly different list. And Bloomberg actually said the worst city in America for Black women was Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But in general, the better cities for Black women tend to stay the same.
Okay, so now we have that information. Here's what I feel like was missing: love. All over social media, and I talk about it all the time here. And I know my situation is different than a lot of other people's, but definitely dating and relationships is something that a lot of Black women deal with. And I feel like we deal with it differently. I feel like we have different realities, different things that we have to face than other women of other races and ethnicities. That being said, where are the best places to live for Black women to find love?
Okay. This was really important to me. I wish that this was something that was focused on more succinctly across the board in all data, just because, statistically speaking, Black women are the least married social group, the least partnered social group in the United States. I talk about that a lot on this channel. I talk about why I believe that is. But I feel like if the emphasis was placed on, hey, well, live in a place where it's easier to meet people if you're meant to meet someone, I think it might do something to attack those numbers, maybe a little bit. I don't know. But I like to hope, right? And I know that if I was younger, like maybe like 10 years younger, I definitely would have moved. Now knowing what I know about life, I would have moved for love. Like if I had a place that I knew I could live in where I could make good money, and I knew I would be able to, afford what I wanted, and I would be able to build community, so on and so forth. And it would be a good place to find love, I would go there 10 years ago. Now I'm staying put. So it is what it is. But I went to this website called That Sister. And this is an article that was written back in 2021. And they have here the top 10 cities for Black singles to mingle. Now, I know we're going to get some comments on this because the very first one is Atlanta. And I can't tell you how many times I go on, especially on Twitter, TikTok, wherever, and people are like, don't come here. Do not come to Atlanta. You single women, do not come here. Your husband ain't here. So definitely if you're an Atlantean, feel free to wage in. Washington, D.C. So I know that a lot of people that I'm familiar with and that I know had great dating experiences, if they are Black women, had great dating experiences in D.C. where they may not have met like the love of their life, but at least they had a love life. You know what I'm saying? Like something was going on while they were there. And I think it's because it's a great city for Black professionals. I think people are out mingling and doing things well past a certain age. And they're doing things in certain ways. And so, yeah, I definitely think that would help. Chicago, I'll just leave that for you guys. If you agree, please let me know in the comments below. You've got New York. Everyone always told me after my content came out, a lot of it last year, they were like, you need to move to the East Coast. You need to move to New York. And again, New York is another city that I see people talking about on social media. They're like, don't come here. He's not here. Don't do it. But I do think that because New York is so diverse and you have so many different cultures coming together, I do think it's a great place. If you can get over, of course, the rats, the incredible cost of living, and the fact that it snows there, which really that's it for me. I can do the rats. I could probably figure out a way to live, but the snow, I'm out. Let's see what's next. Okay, so this one, of course, like just kicked me in the face. Houston. no comment. Because, and you know what? I thought it was just me because, of course, my story is very interesting and not interesting, but just why I don't think I have a normal single person story. I don't think I have a normal single person's journey at all. But definitely being on social media has helped me feel a little bit more normal. I have seen some people talk about just some wild dating stories they have in Houston, and I'm like, well, I'm happy. All I can say is I got left at a restaurant then. Dallas, any Dallasites watching right now can weigh in on this. Dallas is supposed to be a good place. Panama City. This is the second time in 48 hours I'm hearing about Panama. What's in Panama, guys? What's going on? It's a country. It's not the United States, but it is a country that's very close. People are moving there a lot. Lots of Black expats moving to Panama City. If you have any experience with this and you're interested in being an expat, please let me know. And they have another city on here that's not America, Cali, Colombia, and then Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and then Accra, Ghana. Now, of course, these last cities on here, they're not American cities, but I do know that a lot of people, especially within the last few years, have been looking to try and become expatriates. So maybe you are the type of person that would move, that would cross oceans to try and find your Mr. Right. Again, 10 years ago, I might have done something like that. I wouldn't now, but I do think it's an important conversation to have in case there's anybody out there who would still, who would be interested in that. So please feel free to weigh in the comments.
And on that note, I would like to say this. Everybody's experience in any city is going to be their own experience. So really, nothing I've said here or shared here in this video, and nothing anybody shares in the comment sections is going to dictate what the experience will be like if you were to move to a certain city. However, I do think the generalizations that exist in a place tend to find people more often. Does that make sense? So if a certain reality is more present, you'll probably come in contact with it from time to time. For example, before I moved to LA, I heard certain things and I was like, nah, not for me. It was for me. I experienced it. But I still want to go back to my last point. Every woman is different. Every Black woman is different. And the things that you're looking for in one city, you may completely find. It could be a city that wasn't on that list at all, or any of the other lists that I found and showed in this video. Or it could be a city that was on the list, but was on one of the worst lists, but you've had a great time there. Please, please, please share your experiences below. I want to turn this video into a place where people can come and share information, and hopefully it helps inform the life choices or even make better the life experiences of people who are still asking, where should I move next? Where should I stay? I'm not asking that. But maybe I will. One day again. Maybe I will. Hopefully not. Woo, I'm tired of moving. I'm tired. I am tired. Thanks for watching.